My name is Casey Collins and I'm the CEO of Prairie Meats. And today I want to share some of our family favorites that we get from Prairie Meats that helps us get through the busy times. We all have busy lives with families and activities, and I'm hoping that some of these ideas might help you spend more quality time with your family at mealtime rather than just running around. So today, what we're going to go through is one of the staples in our household, which is every week we do a smoothie sandwich. And we like to flip it up and do different things, but one of the things that we always start with is one of the cookies. In this week, we're going to use the chicken lemon rice steak, and we're going to pair it with a Monte Cristo. So, if none of you have ever had a Monte Cristo before, it's like a French toast. So what we start with there is we get in to the Prairie Meats store and we pick up some of the soup, and then we hit the deli. And today from the deli, what we got is some nice thick cut honey ham. And this will go great with our sandwich. And this is for the middle of the week when things are busy and you've got activities. This is a really quick way to still sit down, have a quick family dinner, and make sure everyone's happy. So it is this simple. You basically take the package of soup, cut across there, and dump into a microwave safe bowl. And I don't like to miss any of those good spots, so I kind of cheat. I take a little bit of water, make sure I get all the bits. And boom, soup is done. It is that simple. So all I do is I take this, put it into a lid on it, and put it in the microwave. So now that the soup is in the microwave, it's only going to take a few minutes. Let's get going on the sandwich. So the first thing I start with is I start with our eggs. So I want to take 2 eggs and into a bowl that I can fit a piece of bread in, or you can do a shallow dish. And what I'm going to do is just season that with a little bit of kosher salt, and then I'm just going to break those yolks up and give it just a quick mix. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to dredge the bread in it, so you want it broken up. You can use a whisk, but fork works just as fine. You'll get that. Just a nice, it can be a little gooey, it doesn't matter. Decent consistency there. And then we want to get our pan on. So we're going to turn that to, let's say, low to medium heat. And I don't always use butter when I'm grilling things, but when it comes to this, the butter just adds a little bit more flavor. You can use canola oil, you could use just a spray, but the butter just gives it a little bit extra. And when it comes to a good sandwich, it's always into the small details. So we got the butter on, we've got our egg yolk ready, and what we're going to do is we're going to get our cheese ready. Now, you can choose any cheese you want. The traditional is a Gruyère, like I have here, but sometimes, you know, I'll switch it up. I'll use a mozza, I'll use a Monterey, provolone, like any cheese will work. But just for this one, we're going to use what the traditional original recipe was, which is Gruyère, which has a nice flavor. And we're just going to slice it kind of on an angle, the way that this is done. And get about 4 or 5 thin slices like that we can put on our bread when we're ready. So we have our cheese ready, we have the egg ready. Now we need to add the ham. So I'm going to grab a couple pieces of our beautiful honey ham, and I just want to make sure I'm going to trim a little off the edge just so it fits the bread nicely. Now it's up to you how much you want to use. I'll use just one thick slice like that, or if you like a thinner shave, you can pile it on. but it's really that simple. So we're gonna start with our first piece of bread, and you wanna just coat the one side. Our butter is ready, it's heated, it's not burning, it's not hot. And turn it up a little bit more. And we're just gonna dredge that bread in there. So you can see it's got a nice coating there. Make sure it has lots. And put it into the pan there. And then take the other side too. And dredge it. And then kind of put them side by side. Okay. Now some people will butter the inside. Some people will add a little bit of a sauce. I'm just cheese, meat, and that. But what you want to do is you want to get cheese on both sides. So you get a good melt on both sides of the bread, and then the meat can go in between. All right? So I'm going to cut one more little piece of cheese. I one got mad that there was too much cheese on the sandwich. All right. So we're going to let those cook. And what you can do is you can throw your meat in the pan too, get it a little hot, put them behind. You want them just to a nice crust. Flip my ham over. Okay. Okay. So now that the ham's got a little bit of warmth to it, I'm going to add it to one side of the sandwich, and then we're going to take the other side and put it over top of it. We're going to give it a quick little press down, and then we're going to let it sit there and let it stay at low and just keep on cooking. And let that cook for a few minutes on each side before we pull it off. Looking perfect, so we're going to pull that off the grill there. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do is we'll get our soup. We'll get it real easy for the kids. So I usually do, for the kids, they like about 4 to 6 ounces. So about 3 ladles worth of soup. I mean, every kid's different. Ours is always a little bit of a battle. And then we take our sandwich, and we do a nice cross cut. And then you can see it's nice and melted. The ham's in there, nice and gooey. And we'll add that onto there. And you know what? Just to kind of finish it, just to keep our meal. My kids love a little bit of fresh cucumber to go with it, something that, sometimes a pickle. So I'll just give them a quick little something to dip on the side. All right. A little bit of cucumber to keep the balance in the meal over there. And that is it. That is a quick Wednesday meal that we have. And we got a little bit of soup, a little bit of vegetables, and a little bit of sandwich. And that gets us through the midweek part of our week and gets us closer to the weekend that we're all looking for. So hopefully you enjoy, and thank you so much.